Hello, this is from Caracas. I'm Rey Gómez. I usually say that Venezuelans, like Caribbean people after all, carry music inside. An example of this is the National System of Youth and Children's Orchestras and Choirs, or simply the System, as many people call this institution. On this marvel, I will talk with Eduardo Méndez, as Executive Director. Please join us for the next few minutes. Hello, how are you?
Hi, hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Well, we could say that the System, more than a cultural institution, is a policy of the Venezuelan state, right?
Yeah, it is. Actually, the Sistema, which we call El Sistema
That's
worldwide, has been founded by Maestro José Antonio Abreu in the year 1975.
1975?
Yes. And it begins as I have to say, an inspiration from his side that to bring many people into the music, okay? So when he begins the program, it starts in a garage with 11 people. He chose...
Interesting.
Yeah, he just wanted the people from the conservatory where he was joining and some other youth people to join music as a group, to make a little orchestra and to try to join the music, because by that time it was impossible for the youth people to get in the professional orchestras.
I believe it was very difficult.
It was very difficult. Actually, many foreign people was joining the professional orchestras by that time in Venezuela, so he wanted to...
Because of the teaching system of music here in Venezuela at that time?
Yeah, it's not like the fall, it was a traditional system of music. So when he wanted to, El Sistema was to bring people together and to start playing music in an orchestra immediately. So what he liked about this idea in the beginning was to the people to have fun and to join music and to play day by day, no matter if they were professionals or not. So he wanted them only to be in an orchestra and to be joining music together. So when he started the program, the first rehearsal was, as I mentioned, in a garage, was not so easy for the people to get in there and to be inspired by someone who they didn't know, was Maestro Braille. And by that time he was 36 years old, and he was very good communicating and amazing person who wants to the people to be inspired, okay?
But there were many contradictions, many difficulties, I believe, at the time when musicians heard of Maestro Abreu, a 36-year-old person who wanted to teach people on those characteristics.
Exactly. And well, they came by the first rehearsal, and after that first rehearsal, he was talking to them about many plans. And he said, we have the responsibility for the music in our country. We need to bring many people into this idea. And I believe you guys, he said, you will be one of the best orchestras in the world. And he said, I believe you will be touring the worldwide with the music of Venezuela and the music of Latin America. And he said also, you will be recording with the main labels of recording in worldwide. And
it was very inspiring.
Very inspiring. And some of them, of course, believe, and some of them maybe didn't believe so much. But day by day, they were always telling to other musicians to come and to come and to come.
It was kind of contagious.
Exactly, exactly. So then after that, he finally had a little an orchestra, a youth orchestra. And well, they start the idea. And then in 1979, it was when the foundation properly begins. It was a state foundation, by that time called FESNOHIF, which was the foundation from the state for the youth and children's choirs and orchestra system.
Oh, interesting.
So a very long name, but was the name for the beginning of this story. The idea was for the state to be part of this program and also to guarantee resources for the development of the program. And after that, during those days, the program, of course, grows and grows and grows. The Simon Bolivar Orchestra, by that time, was the main orchestra of the Sistema. of El Sistema, and they start also doing some tours in different countries. They went to Japan, they went to Europe, they went to the States, they went to different Latin American countries, and they start to expose the Latin American music in all those countries. So
not only Venezuelan music,
not only
but also the Latin American music.
Latin American music, and of course, all the classical music, all the authors and many things, but the focus was many Latin American music authors.
Maestro Abreu, José Antonio Abreu, we could say that he dedicated his whole life in teaching the new generations of musicians. You had the opportunity to know him, to know who he was in person. Who was Maestro Abreu as a person, as a Venezuelan? Who was?
I have to say Maestro Abreu was one of the most incredible person I ever met. Definitely had one of the huge opportunity in my life to work with him, to learn from him many things. He was a very exigent person. He was a very disciplined person, very religious person, and also he was a very human person. He always liked to help anyone who needs his help. He always was a person who was paying attention of the quality of the things, you know. He never passed anything without being perfect. He was always someone who liked the best things possible from not only in music, also in his proper life. He liked everything to be, you know, in the perfect mood that he
was a perfectionist.
Yeah, he was in a way, definitely, but in a good way. He was not obsessed with that. He was always understanding anything that was around the situations. And I have always said that Maestro Abreu he was a very disciplined man, but also a very comprehensive man. And once you need to talk to him about any issue, he was always open on that. And also he was open every time to teach you anything you need to know, even if you don't want it to. I mean, he was always looking things around that to make an example for you, and trying to develop your criteria in anything you have been doing. Actually, for the musicians, for the conductors, for example, he teach many conductors of the orchestras, and he was always in different stages. He was in his office or his studio teaching them music with a video and doing some gestures, also recommending books to learn, some philosophy, also teaching how to approach to a group, leadership skills, also how to talk in a good way that they can understand and listen to you. But then he came to the orchestra also with them, and then teach them when they were, you know, conducting, and they was always every time trying to teach them in the proper, in hot places, you know. They were conducting, and he was always saying to them how to do it or not in the moment, in the right moment. So I think it's a very values thing, because only in Venezuela you can have orchestras for trying to train conductors, you know. And
is there a Venezuelan technique of conducting?
Exactly. Actually, it's coming from a methodology. You know, here when you start in a nucleo as a children, particularly I did when I was 5 years old in a nucleo, so I can say, yes, I can say how all the stages are.
You have spent all your whole life in a nucleus.
Exactly, almost. And I have to say that once you begin in a nucleo, there is very natural thing. I mean, once you are there, you think this is something that is coming from, I don't know, hundreds of years in the past, but actually it's not. It's only 43 years from now, until now. And of course, once you start in a nucleo, you get the contact with the group. You get in the contact with the orchestra, with the choir, with ensemble, with the initiation program, different programs, but all of them are grouped. So the methodology developed by Maestro Abreu, as I mentioned in the beginning, this garage, what he wanted to, is also always a group. The traditional methodology is one by one. You know, you have the teacher, and you have the student, and he teaches you once a week, and then you go home and you practice by yourself. And if you are very young, you have no guide in your house how to solve a problem. Maybe if you don't have, you're not lucky enough, and you don't have a parent or who knows music and can help you, then you are lost for the rest of the week. Here, you go to the núcleo each day of the week, from Monday to Saturday. So you have in your núcleo the possibility to be corrected, to be followed, to be guided by the teachers. So then your practice time is almost in the núcleo and is guided by your teachers that are always with you during the rehearsal time. And actually the núcleo also has another function, which is a community engagement. The núcleo is the place where the community, the parents and the neighbors and all the community comes and is around the núcleo, and they come also.
So it also enrolls the family of the students.
Exactly, exactly. And always Maestro Braille says that if you find the possibility to make the social transformation of the children, then these children will be the agent of transformation for the parents and all then, and after that, of the community. That's why it's so important to begin the transformation of the children inside the communities. And that's why it's a place where the children comes every day and meet the teachers and play in the orchestra or sing in a choir or play in an ensemble, whatever he likes better. And after that, he goes in these places not only to be a musician, is much more to be a better citizen, to reach the final goal of the Sistema, okay? Of course, through the music, using the music as a tool, a powerful tool of social transformation.
At present, how many people are enrolled within the system, aside from their families, of course? I mean, how many Venezuelans learn music thanks to this program?
Okay, we have a count of, in these 43 years, around 3 million Venezuelans have been
3 million Venezuelans?
3 million, yes, has passed.
Only the students?
Yes, has passed through El Sistema in these 43 years, okay? But now, particularly in this moment, we arrive at 1 million students. We are now 1,347,000, 1,347,000 students in this Sistema in the moment. So we are located in 442 nucleus, and we are around 1,500 modulos. We call it. Modulos is like an extension of the núcleo.
Oh,
okay. So these 442 nucleus are located in the whole country, and much of them are located in places where it's not so accessible. So this is the successful of this, because Maestro Braille always has the idea that maybe it's not so easy to bring the people to the music, so we bring the music to the people. So this is the idea to go with the núcleo there and to bring the people inside, bring the music and the teaching and the methodology and the instruments to the people in the place, but telling them that this is not something for free, this is not a gift, this is something they have to work very hard to achieve the goals. Is something that has been this relationship that creates some respect from the communities to the program, and also from the program to the community. So the idea of doing this program and spreading into the country is the way that has been successful, engaging many people. In
what musical specialties, I mean, are the students formed? In what musical instruments are they formed here? Are they formed here, or not only instruments?
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, of course. Okay, a Sistema, as I mentioned, traditionally has been developing the classical music program, which is the main activity. The orchestra, the classical music orchestra, is the main activity of the program, and the music excellency, which is the goal, the main goal of the program, and the Maestro Abreu as in the achievement of the successfully international well-known program is the classical music orchestra. Of course, all the instruments related to the orchestra are taught by us. All the or violin, viola, cello, contrabass, double bass. We have all the percussion instruments, all the woodwinds and brass instruments are taught in our nucleus. But then also we jump into another specialties. We jump into the traditional Venezuelan folk music, which is a programa Alma Llanera, we call. Alma Llanera because it's
the name of the song.
The name of the song.
A very traditional song.
Exactly.
Here in
it's like it's known like
one of the symbols.
National anthem or something like that. What's the symbols? So this program Alma Llanera is in charge of teaching traditional and folk music related to the area or the region of the country. So if you are in Zulia, for example, you teach gaita, which is the traditional rhythm
because of Maracaibo.
of the Zulia. Or if you are in Los Andes, for example, in Mérida or Trujillo, you teach some traditional music from Los Andes, like valses or different music in the area. If you are in the coast, then you teach some drums, you know, the African tambores, we call.
The African descendant music.
Exactly.
And if you are in Caracas, salsa.
Yes, you teach some music like salsa or other, but this is also belongs to another program. It's called the New Genders Music. But the main activity of the Alma Llanera is to result all the traditional music in each area and each region, in each region. So every children's also can be related and engage with the music they are used to listen. If you are in Los Llanos, for example, the joropo, which is the main traditional music from Venezuela, of course, they play the arpa, the cuatro, the maracas, and they listen the rhythm they are used to listen, and then they feel motivated also to go to the orchestra and to understand what the phenomenon is. And they learn how to read music, which is very important.
Very difficult too.
Very difficult and very important because traditional music is used to be transmitted by ear. You know, the people listen and they learn from their parents or their aunts or whatever how to play. But here is systematic. All the methodology from the symphony orchestra teaching is also translated to the traditional music instruments. So we write the music, and we teach them how to play the music, traditional music, but in a way of our orchestra as well. So they understand the discipline, they understand also the solidarity, they understand the teamwork, which is very important, and then they perform in a concert hall. And it's not like, you know, traditional music has to be played in the streets or whatever, which is okay, it's fine. But also we try to bring the traditional music into the world of the concert halls and to be really appreciated by everyone. And this is something very important. Also, Sistema jumped into the New Genders program, which developed different areas like salsa, as you mentioned, like rock, jazz. Also, we are now trying to jump into the electronic music or something. So the idea is to bring as many children as possible into the program so they can feel really motivated to use the music as a tool of social development, which is one of the main ideas of the program.
And how is the system present worldwide?
Well, now Sistema is spread around 72 countries.
72?
Yes. Some of those countries are really engaged with the Sistema. I mean, directly, when Maestro Abreu begins the program, once the program was really established here, he started to take the program worldwide. I mean, particularly Latin America was the main at the beginning. Almost all the countries in South America, some of Central America and Caribbean as well, they joined the program of the Sistema. Actually, we have some ideas that we send some teachers. We call misiones or missions. They go into each country in groups by 5 or 10 persons and develop the programs in each country and give them some ideas how to teach, the methodology, train the teachers inside the places, and also help them to prepare concerts and to prepare relationships with the authorities and locally. It's in a way like
All those missions are supported by the Bolivarian Revolution, by the Bolivarian government.
Actually, those missions are different international banks are also related to those finance. The CAF with the CAF, for example, we have this program since 30 years. So they are being sending and paying for that some different places. And some of those missions, of course, are paying by some embassies in Venezuelan embassies in some countries. They bring the teachers and find the money to try them to make them to help that, and also the oil company PDVSA or Petrocaribe sometimes has been helping also in the area of the Caribbean to jump, for example, the program in Haiti. It was financed once by the Petrocaribe, so we sent some teachers there, and they were inside there like 1 month to developing a program in Haiti. So now we have a program in Haiti as well, and in that many examples of that. But some of the countries, and it will be is amazing how countries like Scotland, for example, or South Korea has been joining the program as El Sistema. They send their teachers to be trained here by us, and we do what we call here the training sessions for 2 weeks period. They go to the nucleus, they have a contact with all the teachers, with all of our methodology, and they go back after that and start the program with the ideas they learn here. And sometimes we send also some teachers to supervise what they are doing in all those places. So now, almost in Europe, we have spread El Sistema in almost all Europe. In the United States are many initiatives of El Sistema going on. Asia, as I mentioned, South Korea, Japan has a wonderful program. The Japan program was very interesting because when they started, the program was in the area of Fukushima. Immediately after the famous disaster, exactly. Once they started, the program was in a way to try to bring some motivation, moral motivation to the people in the area. So we, of course, helped them in that moment with some teachers to begin the program. They found the money and they invite some of our teachers there. So now this is a flag program from Japan, from the Sistema. Now they have some of the nucleus in Osaka, in Tokyo. But the first one was there, and was for us very inspiring because was the feeling of the motivation and the inspiration that a program as El Sistema can have for other countries. And there was idea of Maestro Abreu. Always he said, if this program, in a way that is conceived, is good in Venezuela, in a country like Venezuela, and has been replying in different countries, we have to support that, because in a way, if you can help a children in Venezuela, you can help a children anywhere.
Yes, you're right.
And he said, this has to be something really good for the world.
Mr. Mendez, thank you very much for this interview.
Oh, please, thank you.
Well, on the National System of Youth and Children's Orchestra and Choirs, or simply El Sistema, here in Venezuela, we have been talking to Eduardo Méndez, its executive director. Remember, this is from Caracas. I'm Rey Gómez. Thank you very much.